Welcome to the Truth Era, where we bring the facts back to the mainstream. Today, we delve into a recent revelation from a House Oversight Subcommittee hearing led by Representative Nancy Mace. It was disclosed that over $10 million in taxpayer funds have been allocated to research involving transgender animals. On February 6, 2025, during a hearing titled Transgender Lab Rats and Poison Puppies, Oversight of Taxpayer-Funded Animal Cruelty, Representative Nancy Mace highlighted concerns about federal spending on animal research. She made some shocking revelations.
Late last year, the White Coat Waste Project exposed more than $10 million in taxpayer funds that were spent creating transgender mice, rats, and monkeys.
Revealing that more than $10 million in taxpayer funds were used to create transgender mice, rats, and monkeys. These experiments involved invasive surgeries and hormone therapies at various universities across the country.
These DEI grants funded painful and deadly transgender experiments that forced lab animals to undergo invasive surgeries and hormone therapies at universities across the country. For example, the Biden-Harris administration spent $2.5 million taxpayer dollars to study the fertility of transgender mice.
This funding has sparked a debate over the ethical and financial implications of such research. Critics question the necessity and morality of these experiments, especially considering the significant financial investment.
Can you describe what exactly the American people's taxpayer dollars were spent on regarding transgender animal testing?
Yeah, in a lot of these cases, they're involve mice, rats, monkeys who are being surgically mutilated and subjected to hormone therapies to mimic female to male or male to female gender transitions, gender-affirming hormone therapies, and then looking at the biological, psychological, and physiological effects of the gender transitions, looking at the effects of taking vaccines after you've transition these animals from male to female or female to male, looking at the size of their genitals changing after you've put them on estrogen or testosterone therapies to transition them. And in the case that the example the chairwoman gave, there was a $1.1 million grant to give female lab rats testosterone to mimic transgender male humans and then overdose them with this party drug to see if animals who were taking female animals taking testosterone were more likely to overdose on the sex party drug than animals who were not taking testosterone.
Concerns have been raised about the potential suffering inflicted on animals and whether the outcomes justify the means. The disclosure has led to calls for increased oversight of government-funded research.
Mr. Goodman, are many of these taxpayer-funded animal studies shared with the public? Or is there a significant oversight of this research?
You essentially needed a degree in information technology to navigate the federal spending databases to find any of this stuff.
So what you found is we're not being very transparent with what we're spending these funds on?
Not at all, and it's by design.
Found in some research that the EPA under President Trump is planning to reduce the agency's animal testing by 30% by 2025. And completely by 2035. Mr. Goodman, can you explain why that's a win for the American taxpayer?
Absolutely. Animal testing is incredibly time-intensive, inaccurate, and expensive, and it's not very good at predicting the human health effects or environmental effects of chemicals and pesticides. And right now, what we are doing to test human effects is poisoning lab animals, forcing them to breathe wildfire smoke simulated in a laboratory by burning different types of foliage and pumping it into animals' cages, making them obese to simulate what it would be like for obese people to be exposed to wildfire smoke, shooting off handguns and rifles and forcing animals to breathe the emissions and gun control experiments, and the list goes on. And that's what's happening currently at the EPA after the Biden administration overturned the Trump plan to phase out animal testing.
Advocates for transparency argue that taxpayers deserve to know how their money is being utilized, especially in studies involving ethical considerations. The debate continues as policymakers and the public weigh the potential benefits of such research against the moral and financial costs. At the Truth Era, we are committed to shedding light on complex issues that impact society. What are your thoughts on the allocation of taxpayer funds for transgender animal research? Do you believe such studies are justified? Share your perspectives in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay informed about the stories that matter. Until next time, stay informed and stay engaged.